fruitful cooperation ties between both institutions. More on that in the following story. The Cameroon Fishery Institute via the Limbe Nautical Arts and Fishery Institute and the Regional Maritime University of Ghana are signing a memorandum of understanding for both entities with three key areas at the core.
Our MOU makes me to be very happy. The terms of reference. There are three key areas highlighted in the MOU. And the very first one is ROMU, Regional Maritime University, will facilitate the issuance of STCW certificates. STCW is Standard of Training, Certification and Watchkeeping. These are the basic obligatory certificates that are required by our trainees to assess seagoing vessels. I should be a happy man. The second aspect is we are already in line with trying to harmonize our curriculum. The curricula of both universities in special domain will be harmonized, and a student that lives in Afi can just continue in Regional Maritime University. The third aspect is what we call COC, Certificate of Competency. We have already outlined the procedures, how Certificate of Competency will be facilitated to our trainees.
The Regional University in Ghana, on her part, wants to ensure member states of the West African Higher Institution of Learning have as big as far as knowledge dissemination is concerned.
And for some time now, the board have been trying to get us to reach out to our member states to make sure that member states benefit from the knowledge that the university have been able to gather over the years.
The director of the Limbe Nautical Arts and Fishery Institute is optimistic for this great opportunity that will prevent students from traveling out of the country just to acquire advanced knowledge.
It's for Cameroonians. Certification is for Cameroonians. And the issue of traveling far and wide to acquire this basic certificate, this MOU has resolved.
The signing of this MOU marks a turning point in the life of the Cameroon Fishery Institute, as it will be addressing major problems and inadequacies some graduates face in line of their specialty. And we take you to this church news. Aside from the church being an arena for Christianity and religious studies, this is also an avenue for socialization. This, as the Bishop of the Diocese of Buea, Bishop Michael Bibi, says it's time for Catholic faithful to put that at the back of their mind. This follows his series of teachings on the basics of Catholicism and other religious studies that was being put aside by God and Jesus. This has been happening for the past months now. As he says, it's time for the change of mindset, as many who views the church as basically a place for those virtues that are far-fetched. More on that with you, Adeline Ayemfo Akumene.
In an era increasingly characterized by rapid change and shifting social norms, fundamental pillars of society like the holy matrimony, which plays a crucial role in shaping social patterns, need adequate attention. In this light, the Bishop of the Buea Diocese, His Grace Michael Bibi, organizes every week a special catechism dubbed Know Your Faith for the Catholic faithfuls. This week at St. Anthony of Padua Parish, Buea Town, some Catholic faithfuls and priests converge to listen to soul-searching teachings on the sacrament of marriage. The doctrinal class focused on salient aspects, including the role of the proper priest in endorsing marriages, the authority of the bishop in peculiar cases such as a Christian without a permanent parish, among others. The spiritual exercise pointed to issues like saint polygamy as a hindrance to having a marriage blessed in the church, acting as a caution to uphold the Catholic faith of one man, one woman. The session, characterized by praises, offered the over 100 faithfuls present practical wisdom to navigate some complexities of marriage, such as the adoption of children in cases of childlessness, faith in God, respect for authorities, and much more, in a bid to uphold their faith in the Catholic doctrine.
And moving forward with one of our lead stories, as earlier mentioned on, some pharmacists in the town of Boya in the southwest region has joined the voices of their fellow counterparts in Cameroon and other parts of the world to condemn on the consumption of roadside drugs that is quite recurrent among the developing country population. According to them, this set roadside drugs pose as a great dangers to the human immune system, capable of killing the persons who takes the said drugs. This follows as in a series of our health stories on the danger of roadside drugs. More on that with our health reporter Alice Lekelengu Ikome.
In recent times, there has been an increased rate of roadside drugs all over the country. These vendors cannot diagnose or prescribe medication, which is not the case in Cameroon, and this has a huge negative effect on the community.
Many negative effects when you take roadside medication. One of them is the increased resistance we find with antibiotics, antifungals, and other antimicrobials. This is because the people handling drugs on the street corners and in so-called cosmetic shops are not trained, and whatever they are giving out to the patient, they themselves are not masters of what they are doing. They are not trained, and so they don't know the appropriate dose and the duration of treatment. So when patients keep exposing themselves to these roadside medicines, they take inappropriate doses, and thereby the germs become resistant to that antimicrobial, to that molecule. And this creates a public health hazard, because not only that patient will come down with the negative consequences, the general public will suffer.
The World Pharmacist Day is used to emphasize on the importance of getting drugs in pharmacies.
Pharmacists do not only function at the level of community pharmacies. Pharmacists, the title a pharmacist is given to someone who is well trained and can work in industries, manufacturing industries, can work in hospitals, can work in the community, can work in wholesale or distribution outlets. So the message we as pharmacists came to pass across to the world is that we want people to take effective medicines, quality medicines, and safe medicines.
These roadside drugs has recently resulted to the increased rate of crimes in our communities.
They are supposed to know that they have to go to the authorized pharmacy so that they can get genuine drugs in order to avoid a lot of hardship that is ongoing in our community, like hepatitis, liver cirrhosis, and a lot of money is being lost. We have a lot of children and youths now on narcotics and so on. So it is better for you and your family to be protected, because you don't have another life again. And I plead with the members of the public to check the school bags of their children and so on, because we've started seeing cases of children going to school with cutlasses instead of going to school with pen and pencils and books. It is just because we, the members of the public, are not taking our responsibility to know which type of drug and what our children are taking and their behavioral changes as time goes on.
Authorized pharmacies can be easily identified.
Population has to be very vigilant. A pharmacy, an authorized pharmacy, is a registered business controlled by a well-trained personnel. You can identify it with a cross, pharmacy light cross with a snake in the cup. Then you walk in there, you have a right to ask for the qualification of the pharmacist, and they will show you. So members of the public are supposed to know that they have to go to the authorized pharmacy so that they can get genuine drugs.
It is therefore important to be sure of what gets into one's system, because just as medication is aimed at curing an ailment, it can also easily cause harm or even kill if used wrongly.
And moving to other news now, following the abduction of the district officer for Idabato in the Bakassi Peninsula recently by suspected pirates from neighboring Nigeria, Southwest Governor Bernard Okalia Belai has narrated on how his abduction went recently on the night of 1st October 2024. This took place at exactly 2 a.m. according to the top administrator for the Southwest region. He was speaking to journalists in the town of Poya as Adisleke Liengu Ikome has the following excerpts of an interview selected for us.
By 2 o'clock in the night, the DO of Idabato, Mr. Etongo, Mr. Iwane Roland, and one of his collaborators, one Etongo Ismail, working with the Idabato Council, they were kidnapped by gunmen who came in their number, well equipped, and they were shooting. They broke the residence of the GO and arrested him, kidnapped him, and ran away by the sea. Immediately, the forces of law and order deployed their patrols on the sea, but without any chance of success. So till now, the DO has disappeared. He's in the hands of those gunmen. We are still patrolling around the sea in the Bakassi area. We are in contact with the neighboring authorities of Nigeria. We are sensitizing everybody if they can have some information. And we hope that some people of good faith will give us reliable information so that we succeed to lay hand on those who have kidnapped the chief of the administrative unit of Idabato and his close collaborator. But the situation, as far as security is concerned, is under control because the men could not the gunmen could not face our forces of law. They did it in less than 20 minutes and they ran away, which means that they cannot confront our forces. They targeted the GO and they succeeded, but the rest of the population is going about their activities. It is true that the fact that the GO is kidnapped, being the representative of the state, the symbol of the republic, it's a bit traumatizing and disturbing, but we're inviting the rest of the population and the rest of the forces of law and administrative authority and all the officials elected to remain vigilant. To remain vigilant because, as I always say, information is the first weapon to fight terrorism. Because when we are not reliably informed, we cannot take the appropriate measures. I'm now inviting the rest of the population, the collaborator, to remain vigilant and to give us reliable information. That is the situation as far as this problem of the kidnapping of the GO of Idabato is concerned.
onto the celebration of breast cancer awareness that has been taking place since the 1st of October, as the month of October in Cameroon and around the world is celebrated as Pink Month or World Breast Cancer Awareness Month. As such, women and girls in the town of Boya of the Southwest region and the nation at large has been encouraged to make sure they get themselves screened against breast cancer, as free breast cancer services are being given to some major hospitals across the nation. They were told upon to make sure that they do the needful so as to detect early sign warnings against breast cancer. More on that with our health reporter, Alice Dekelengu Ikome, once again.
It is the Pink Week and the Breast Cancer Awareness Month. This vibrant and positive campaign aims to raise awareness about breast cancer, encourage early detection, and raise funds for breast cancer research and support services.
We can say breast cancer is one of the most recurring cancers in our days among women. And funny enough, it's not age restricted. It can, happen to any woman, female, who is already at the age of menstruation, who's developing hormones already. This can actually develop in them. So we keep hearing instances of people losing breasts and arms because of this disease. So it's actually very, very recurrent, and care must be given to it.
The population is called upon during this annual event to wear pink cloth or accessories to show their support for breast cancer awareness research.
Same outreach program, we're actually carrying out free screening using breast self-examination. We have members of the public actually come, and with the direction of the lab technicians, they examine themselves. And if they find anything funny, like a lump, like some knots, was okay, fine. Don't panic. It is not yet cancer. It needs confirmatory test. This one is preliminary. So go see a specialist now. We direct you to the specialist who will now carry further diagnostic test on you and determine whether it was breast cancer struggling to develop or is just a lump you're carrying.
In Cameroon, according to the Global Can 2010 estimation, breast cancer is the most frequent cancer in women before cervical cancer, with an incidence of 27.9 per 100,000 women. Lifestyle changes associated with urbanization and the concomitant loss of traditional protective factors appears to be associated with the rising incidence of breast cancer in African women. Women are called upon to watch out for breast lumps or thickening without pain, change in size, shape, or appearance of breast, deepening redness, pitting, or changes in the size, change in nipple appearance or the skin surrounding the nipple, and abnormal or bloody fluid from the nipple. As it is always said, prevention is better than cure.
Advise the young girls, if in case you have a symptom, an abnormal mass in your breast or around your breast, you can go in the hospital for screening. And I also advise the young girls to be doing self-massage frequently in order to identify if there's an abnormal mass or not.
During this period, everyone, both men and women, are expected to spread the news and for each and every woman to go for screening.
To our viewers in Cameroon and around the world, you are watching High Prime, and we are coming to you live from our new studios here in High Television. We now move on to one of our major stories, as Ella mentioned for the headlines. The Bamenda City Council, under the tutelage of Reverend Paul Achombong Tembek, has embarked on a massive mission to transform the entire town of Bamenda to a competitive one amongst her peers in Cameroon and beyond. This, as the City Council authorities have now taken upon themselves to make sure that garbage heaps that were abandoned by the Hygiene and Sanitation Company in Cameroon are being cleared off. across major road junctions all across the town of Bamenda, and making sure that they give a new facelift as far as infrastructural development is concerned in the town of Ambakwa, Bamenda. More on that with our Bamenda-based reporter, Joy Nga.
In time past, Bamenda, the chief town of the Northwest region, was plagued by poor waste management, earning it the reputation of a dirty republic. However, a new era of hope has dawned on the city, thanks to the pioneering efforts of the city mayor, Achobong Tembeng Paul.
I'm a citizen of Bamenda. Bamenda was one of the cleanest towns in this country. And the experience is Bamenda is that for some years back, let me say like 8 years ago.
And we are deeply sorry for the poor sound quality there on that report as we remain still in the town of Bamenda following the visit of the Minister of Tourism and Leisure, Bello Bubai Maigari, who went to Bamenda for the 45th celebration of the International Tourism Day, as he believed that the town of Bamenda, the Northwest region, has a lot of touristic potential to offer to Cameroon and the rest of the world, as this year's theme was focused on peace being a way for swift tourism all across the world. More on that in the following story.
On the sideline to encourage Cameroon's touristic potentials to citizens and foreigners alike, the Minister of State Tourism and Leisure is in Bamenda for the 45th edition of World Tourism Day.
We've shown to celebrate this year the World Tourism Day here in Bamenda, the capital of the Northwest region that has been suffering from insecurity since 2016.
The Northwest region of Cameroon that is endowed with lots of touristic potential that has a staggering decline of tourists due to the armed conflict that started in 2017. The Minister of State, Minister of Tourism and Leisure hammer on this year's theme being tourism and peace for 2024, as he believes Bamenda and the Northwest region as a whole stands out for such celebrations.
We thought it that Northwest region, Bamenda in particular, are the most appropriate places to come and celebrate and encourage the promoters of the tourism and leisure sector.
Some tourism and leisure operators were recognized by the minister, something they promised to do better.
It's an honor to be recognized, given the fact that Big G has gone through a lot It gives a lot of encouragement. It gives a lot of encouragement to know that irrespective of what is happening, as insecure as people, the label, the tag in Bamenda, at least we can still provide leisure to those who are resident in Bamenda and still provide leisure to those who are comfortable to come into Bamenda. I don't think that because there is a socio-economic crisis, it's the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. There are still Bamenda residents who still come, and you understand that Big G provides most of his activities during the day. So it's not defying any law. It's working in conformity with the laws of Cameroon, and there is no particular I should say law we are breaking.
With commemoration of World Tourism Day marked in Bamenda, the different stakeholders have been called upon to do more in promoting Cameroon's tourism sector.
And we now take you to this educational news where the population of the Southwest region has been called upon to make sure that they maximize the opportunity that is to study at the Legacy University and Theological Seminary Center in the Southwest region, following this commissioning of the said great institution to the town of Boya, as the said institution has been existing for more than a decade over there in the United States of America. America and other parts across the world. Alice Lekeliengwe Kome captured every moment during this launching ceremony, and I brought back the following story.
With a mission to present a complete church, Legacy University and Theological Seminary has been launched over the weekend in Boya. Legacy University and Theological Seminary aims at bringing the gospel from both spiritual, social, and entrepreneurial approach, making it different from others.
University and Theological Seminary is a United States-based university, a faith-based university, and we cover a complete study, both of the Word of God and social studies. We have come to realize that most pastors are not well taught. Some pastors know only about the Bible, but we realize that we are pastoring people who have been called by God in different spheres of influence. And so we want to train pastors to have the ability to be able to pastor people from all spheres of influence. So joining Legacy University and Theological Seminary will give you the tools you need to raise people in every sphere of influence, because we teach about business in our school. We don't just teach about ministry, we don't just teach about theology, but we teach about business, we teach about entrepreneurship, we teach about finances, we teach about law in our school, so that pastors are equipped to even know the laws of our nation, the constitution of our nation. So it is important that you become part of this school.
The university gives its students the opportunity to gain broader knowledge on many aspects, especially on what is in the Bible.
University and Theological Seminary presents this very, very great opportunity for their students to visit Israel and Greece. This is to be able to have broader knowledge and on-ground knowledge on certain things in the Bible which have been taught. This is a great opportunity where the school facilitates by giving a certain degree of aid for students to be able to travel.
It is time for Cameroonians, especially ministers of the gospel, not to only study the Bible, but also gain some practical skills, making them complete.
The advantage of the Legacy University is that it gives opportunity for people to get a holistic aspect of the Bible and society, and also entrepreneurship. You realize that many people in the community are limited, so but this will raise the standard of studies.
Looking at the opportunities presented during the launching, many could not hold back but registered themselves immediately.
About the Legacy University right now, and I'm happy because really, as a pastor, I need to acquire knowledge so I can teach other people, because I believe that is Bible will study to show us proof. So I believe through Legacy University I will learn so much that can impact my innovation.
Registration is ongoing.
The university is operational since 2014, and the headquarters is in Tallahassee, Florida, in the United States of America. So we are present in other African countries like Accra, Ghana. We are also present in Quito, Ecuador, and we are currently bringing Legacy University to Cameroon, precisely in Boya. So for those who want to register, registration is currently ongoing, and during this session we had some persons who have started registering because they've understood the importance of acquiring holistic knowledge.
From every indication, Legacy University and Theological Seminary is a university with a difference that would change the impression about the church and the individual positively.
And with that report done by Alice Lekeliengwe Kome, this is where concludes tonight's news package, High Prime of Thursday, the 3rd day of October 2024. Thanks for the privilege of your company, and do follow us tomorrow, same time, 8 p.m. GMT+1 Cameroon time. From me and the entire news crew, it's a blessed night in the company of High Television. As coming up next is the news in the Pidgin language with Uncle Diman Kavino Walang. Good night.